Come on, like this episode, holy crap. I was not expecting something like this to happen already. It's only 4 episodes in. There's 25 episodes, I think. That's what my anime list said. And 4 episodes in, we have a possibility of 2 people already dying. The reason why I say possibility is the fact that I'm not too sure if Spartacus really is dead. Just for the fact that, Vlad was pretty much talking about bringing, taking him over, bringing him to their side, changing his contract and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not fully sure if Spartacus is really, gone, or if he's going to be on the red faction side instead of the black faction. So it's a possibility that he may just be completely dead, but we do not know yet. But still, nonetheless, I did not expect something like that to happen. I expected this episode, even though I kind of was disappointed in the fight with Spartacus, I kind of wanted to see a lot more of him against the rest of them. I thought it was going to be some pretty crazy shit, but I thought that, in the end, no one was going to die. I thought that in the end, it was going to be more of they got information on each other, and then it would make the fighting in the future episodes that more crazier and intense because they actually know each other, of who they are and what their maybe possibility of what their weaknesses and strengths are, pretty much, But yeah, this completely changes everything in how the battle ends up working, in the fact that we finally, of course, first off, before I start talking about that, we finally get introduced to two other characters that I've been wondering, when the heck are they going to be introducing more of the servants of the red faction side, considering the fact that, we've seen all the black faction, but we have not seen all the red faction yet. So finally, in this episode, we get introduced to the archer. Her name is Atalantis. I did not know who the hell that was, or Atalanta, sorry, not Atlantis, Atalanta, and honestly, I had no idea who the heck she was at first. I had to go and look it up. Ends up, she's like a virgin huntress or something. Turns out she gave an oath to, obviously, the virgin huntress Artemis and everything, and that's pretty much all I know about her. I didn't really dive more deeper into her story, into the wiki and everything, considering the fact that they'll probably show more of her history and her backstory like they normally do for all the other characters. So I held off on that. I just kind of wanted to know where she was from. Obviously it was some type of Greek mythology or some sort of like that, so pretty interesting nonetheless. The writer, I actually had no idea who the hell he was at first. It gave no, there was nothing that he did that showed like, oh, I know who this hero is already from the start. It wasn't until he ends up getting attacked and ends up flying away, and Chiron ends up saying, fate is cruel and everything, and even brings us to have to fight the, even in death and everything. And it turns out that that's actually Achilles. Holy shit. Okay. And I actually did not know, I looked this up as well, that, this whole thing with Chiron and Achilles, I was like, do they know each other? Ends up being that Chiron actually was one of the teachers that taught, that was teaching Achilles. So that's going to make for some crazy ass battle in the future. It may come to the point where, I don't know, they may not want to fight each other. It may come to the point where obviously they're going to both know exactly how the other one worked, considering, you could say it both ways. Obviously the student knows the teacher because obviously he trained under them. The teacher knows the student because he pretty much taught him everything, or most of what he knew. So they pretty much know exactly how each other fights, which may make it for some pretty interesting battle. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it'll be pretty crazy if it ends up being with Chiron, shooting his Achilles heel. That's the only way that I would have known that was Achilles, if Chiron didn't say anything. He had shot his heel and everything's like, holy shit, it's Achilles. But obviously if that happened, I'm pretty sure he would be dead at that point, so they can't let that happen yet. But I don't know why, but I have a feeling that that is how it's going to be. Like, Chiron's probably going to shoot him in his Achilles heel, and that's going to be how he ends up dying. If it is, then I'm just going to be like, holy shit, wow, they just full on had it, just like how he ends up dying before, Which would be pretty interesting. If it doesn't, then okay, whatever, that's fine. But somewhere along the way, he's going to get at least shot towards a shot, an arrow shot towards his Achilles heel. Maybe since he knows of it, he'll be, really defending it and everything. But nonetheless, that's a huge thing that's going to be going on in the future episodes, where it may be Chiron end up winning over Achilles because of that, or of course the other way around as well. And that's another thing, like I said before, there's a lot of information being traded and everything. It looked like Atalanta had some inkling of something going on with Frankenstein. I have no idea, but when she shot arrows, she was like, oh, I see, kind of thing. And she ends up running away after her because she got her information. And I'm over here like, wait, you see what? I didn't see anything. Is it you saw that she was shot? You shot her and pretty much nothing happened? Yes, she's, not, she doesn't really feel the pain and everything, if that's what you're going by. But I don't know, I'm not too sure. Plus, we also got to see that, like, she had, like, some huge mace that ends up, like, producing some electric shock current thing around her. I don't know what was going to go on there. I kind of wanted to see more of that. Unfortunately, obviously, once again, irritating Siegfried's master tries to make him use his commands. He uses command seals to make him, use his noble phantasm. To which, of course, obviously that ends up not working out how he wants to, and because the other guy sees that he's doing that, makes him stop, which pretty much means he loses 2 of his command seals. And of course, that would be pretty funny already, and make you think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see like when he has to use the last one, and then Siegfried doesn't listen to him or something along the way. But unfortunately, obviously, that is just complete. Unfortunately for Siegfried, and fortunately because I really hate his master, but the end, of course, obviously shows that Siegfried ends up dying, and I'm pretty sure his master is gonna get in deep trouble. I honestly, that's probably one of my favorite parts that is going to happen in the next episodes, is gonna get to see how like they punish him, because there's gonna be something like I'm just gonna be cracking up like, good for you, you're so irritating, and finally you're just gonna be dead, kind of thing. And that's another thing. I don't understand how that works, that Siegfried ends up dying in this episode. Because we saw that, what's it called? He pretty much, in the first episode, in the very beginning, it was like, one of those things where it shows what's going to happen in the future, probably somewhere deep into, like, towards the end of the season, this fight between Mordred and, of course, Siegfried happens. How does that happen if he's dead? Don't spoil it, obviously, if you already know, but it just confused me. I was like, is there something going on here? Is he really dead? Is he gonna somehow come back to life or something? I don't know, but it's definitely got me thinking and trying to think of possibilities of what the hell's going on. But honestly, I did not expect someone to already die in the first 4 episodes. The possibility of 2 already too. So that's just plain crazy, honestly. I really liked Astolfo's character in this episode. Astolfo, even though, that is a trap, beware and everything, it's hard not to like his character, considering he's, honestly, even it makes it hard to think who really is, the bad side. When, Joan of Arc ruler ends up saying, this war feels weird, it feels different from how it usually should be. I feel the same way, because I don't know what's going on really fully yet. We don't know what side is really like the good side, the side that you should be cheering on, honestly. It might just be, you don't cheer for any of them because they're all bad. And maybe it ends up being that the homunculus and ruler have to stop them all. I'm not too sure. But I'm definitely interested in seeing how all of this finally, comes about, what's going to happen next, because seriously, it's got me all over the place. I'm honestly, in a good way, confused and excited to see what's going to happen next, because I honestly have no idea with what would happen in this episode, honestly. Plus, there's the whole fact that there's, when Atalanta and, Achilles were talking, they were talking about how they have never seen their masters before. How is that possible? What's going on there? How have you never seen your masters? Wouldn't you see them right when you're first summoned? So there's kind of this whole thing with, I don't know what's going on the red faction side. We've only seen 2 masters, Mordred's master, and obviously Kotomine Shido, I think his name was. That guy, obviously, I don't trust him at all. Obviously, Mordred and her master don't trust him either. And something's going on, behind the scenes in the Red Faction that is probably going to come up. And that guy's probably someone not to be trusted. He's going to probably like, I want to kill everyone or something along those lines. He is controlling everyone, all their masters or something like that. I honestly don't know. But there's seriously so many questions that had sprouted up from this episode that, like, it's left me at the end of this episode like, holy shit, honestly. Oh, sorry, hit my mic a little, but holy shit, honestly, what is going on? There's so many things. We don't know who the damn Red Faction masters are. Where are they? What's going on there? all of a sudden we have possibility of two people already dead. What the hell's going on there? There's this whole thing with Joan of Arc. She doesn't know what's going on. She feels that this war is like different. There's something wrong with it. Plus the whole thing too, when she ends up seeing like the future, what's going on there? Is that, unless it spoils something huge for the future, feel free to comment below. But I was like, how the hell was she able to see that by touching the stone or something like that? I was kind of confused on that point. But honestly, an amazing episode, pretty much from the start to the finish. Spartacus' fight, of course, was a little bit of a disappointment, like I said, but nonetheless, everything else made up for it. We got to see a little bit of Vlad the Impaler. We got to see, Astolfo use his weapon. Almost forgot to mention that. That's a pretty OP weapon, honestly. It pretty much makes anything turn back to their spiritual form. That's why his leg was pretty much gone, that's why I didn't understand why when Astolfo attacks, is fighting Siegfried, wouldn't that just make his sword turn back to its spiritual form and just disappear? Not really sure how that ends up, how that works at all, honestly. And then, of course, there's the whole thing with, Achilles and Chiron. That's pretty crazy. Showing of Atalanta and something going on with her that she sees in Frankenstein that none of us see, at least not me, honestly. And then, of course, Siegfried dying, his master being a dumbass, trying to kill, of course, what's it called? The homunculus, because he's just an idiot, and he's probably going to get punished really bad, and I can't wait to see that. But honestly, the very ending was a huge dramatic scene for me. It was really emotional. I did not expect Siegfried to go ahead and do what he did. It makes it honestly really sad and depressing that his wish in the end was to help someone because he wanted to, of his own, his own free will. Before, it's just he granted all these people wishes. He would do it because I guess he had to do it. But finally, he was able to do it because he wanted to, and he freaking tears his damn heart out of his chest. That part, I was like, holy shit, what are you doing? And then, of course, he just, like, whoop, sinks it into, of course, the homunculus's chest. And I'm over here like, why can't you just go out? Why'd you have to go like, ripped it out, literally ripped it out? How the hell is he still alive in the first place? Why is it taking a while for him to disappear when he rips his own damn heart out? But honestly, and then of course there's the whole thing with the homunculus transforming, like aging all of a sudden. I'm not too sure how that works out, but yeah. And then of course the very ending too with I gotta say, Joan of Arc looking beautiful. Like this, like that's why I made it my thumbnail, one of her facial expressions that they had in there, because like just the way they had it was just like, holy shit, thank you for making her, showing that, seeing that was honestly beautiful. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the episode. Crazy shit happening in this one. I honestly cannot wait to see what is going to happen in the next one, because honestly I don't know what's going to happen. It could be anything. We could have someone die again in the next one. Who the hell knows, honestly. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I'm missing you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy it, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How did you feel about this episode? Good, bad? Feel free to comment below. It's always awesome to hear your guys' thoughts. And until next time, guys, see ya.